In today's video, we're going to be creating this cards design in Figma. It's a quick one for your desktop layout. Or anyway, let's get started. So I already have my image. The link for this image is going to be in the description box below, and the text used in this video is also going to be in the description box below. Let's start with the frame. I'm going to click on F so that I can select one of our defaults, and I'm going to use this desktop option. I'm going to resize my image. Let's start by changing the width to 630, and I'm going to double click, and I want to reduce the height to 855 like this, and I'm going to raise it up like this, maybe just bring it down, close that, and I can just close this, and I'm going to bring this into our frame and align it to the edge of the frame. So if this was a desktop web page, the image as well as the rectangle is going to go across the entire web page. Next up is a rectangle. I'm just going to click and insert. So I'm just going to align it to this image and then increase the height so it has the same height with the image, which is 855, and then extend it across the remaining parts of our frame, which is 810. So your rectangle will be 810 by 855. Let's now change the fill. Let's go over to fill and let's use gradient. We're going to add two more stops. So over in this stops option, add 1 and 2. So we have 2 stops, a total of 4 stops. Let's change the stop positions. So for the second one, it's going to be 25%. And for the third one, we're going to leave it at 75%. So the color for this first one is going to be D0, D4, F9. And I'm going to change the color of this one to be FE, D5, DB. And I'm going to copy the code for this one because it's going to be the same as this. When I'm done, you'll be able to see the colors, and the final one at 100% is going to be B5, E3, F3. All right, so these are the colors we have. So once again, you can pause the video and take a look at the colors. So these are the codes. We have 4 stops, one at 0%, one at 25%, one at 75%, and one at 100%. So yeah, I'm going to go back to my frame, and what I'm going to do is hover till I have this option where you see it's showing 0 degrees. Rotate this so that it's at minus 43 degrees. I'm going to click on escape so that we can just close that. Next, we're going to need our text. So I'm just going to click on T so that I can get my text option. I'm going to copy. Oops. Let me copy the heading. So this is a cards design, but I'm just going to draw and then paste here. I'll just make the resizing auto width. Let's change the font and then let's just change the typography. This is going to be Cormorant Garamond, and I'm going to make the size 57. The line height is currently set to auto. It's at 69. I want it to be 64, so I'm just going to change it to 64. Letter spacing should be 0, like this. I'm going to create a copy of this text box so I can work on a second text. So this second text, the font is going to be Laura. Size is going to be 16, and the line height is going to be 24. I'm going to grab the text, which is just a sort of brief introduction to what this section is about, and I'm going to just paste that, and I'm going to reduce the width of this. Let's say somewhere around here. What's the length? Mine is 417. You can make it the same. You can make it 415, or just this. I'm going to change the alignment of the text to center. I'm going to select this two, and I'm going to make it an auto layout, and the alignment currently is set to center. I'm going to make the gap 20. Now that we have our text, we can now start building our individual cards. Let's start with an icon. So I'm going to right click, run plugins, iconify, and I'm just going to give this a moment. So I'm going to start by searching for plants, and I want to use this one. So the icon is from huge icons, and that's the one I want to use. So I'm just going to grab it and then bring it into my frame. I'm going to close this. I'm going to change the under selection colors. What I'm going to do is select this and then make it completely black. Next, I'm going to increase the size. Let's change the size to 80 by 80. So if I change the height, the width is also going to change. Now, as I've changed the dimension, sometimes depending on the icon pack you're using, when you increase or decrease the size, the line width or the thickness of the line will change along with the size of the icon. This one didn't. So typically it's very easy to work with most of them like this. I'm going to, while I'm selecting on the icon, click on enter again, and you can see now we selected the group and then we're selecting the vector, which are the lines. And now you have this option for stroke, and now you can increase the width. The width for the stroke is going to be 4, and now the lines are much thicker, and that's what I want. Next up, we're going to need another text box. So I'm just going to select T. I'm going to grab the heading for this first card and paste. So by default, since I use Laura, I used this one last, it's going to use Laura. We're going to change the font, but before I do that, I could actually create another text box, so we can just reuse it or create a new one. Let's change this one back to Cormorant Garamond. So I'll change the font to Cormorant Garamond. Size is going to be 20 and the line height, we're going to leave it at 24. Let me just align it here. Let me grab my text. So let me copy the text for the next one. I'm going to, let's just change it. You are still going to leave it as Laura. Change the size to 14 and the line height is going to be 20. And I'm going to paste. Our alignment is still centered. No worries, just leave it like that. Let me just reduce it first. I want the width of this to be specific because we want it to be the same across. This is going to be longest item across all our cards, so I want it to be consistent for all of them. So we're going to make the width 280. So this is what we're going to have. So now I can select all 3 items, Shift A to make an auto layout. So for me, mine is set it's aligned to top center. That's fine as long as it's within the center. That's okay. The gap between all items is going to be 20. And yeah, we've created our first card. Now we're going to reuse this card to create the other cards. So I'm going to hold Alt and Shift while also keeping it aligned. I want the spacing between the two to be 24. Select the 2 again, Alt and Shift, and we are going to create another set. And I also want this to be 24. You can do it, just create the cards and then fix the alignment later. So now let's change the icons and as well as the text. Let's start with this one. So I'm going to select the icon, right click, and we'll go to plugins and we can run iconify. Next, we're going to use armchair, and I'm going to use this icon, this one by, is it Lucid? I believe that's how you pronounce it, this one. So I'm going to select it, and I don't know if you're using iconify, there's this option replace icon. So I'm going to replace the icon, and now we have this armchair icon. I'm going to close this. Let me check the width of this. I want to see, it's currently set to 6.6, so it came in larger. We're going to change it back to 4. So you can click the icon multiple times to select the lines, or you could just click on enter to notice that you've selected the lines. Let's now change the text. I'm going to copy this text, the title for this card, paste, and then I'm going to grab the remaining text, copy, and then I'll paste. Let's move on to the next one, which is this one. Double click till you select the icon, run iconify. We're going to change this to, let's search for cabin. And we are going to use this one from the same lucid icons. So now replace icon, close, click on enter again to select the icons. You can actually select the group and you can see the weight for the lines, but that's fine. Change the line weight to 4. Let's now change the text. I'll grab the next text. I'm going to paste and I'm going to copy this text and then paste. Let's now move on to the final one. Let's start with the icon. I'm going to select the icon, right click, go to plugins, iconify, and I'm going to search for mug. We're going to use this one, the same lucid, and I'm going to select this. I'm going to replace icon, close. Let's enter. So you can, when you see the stroke, you see go over to the weight and then reduce the weight to 4. Let's now copy this text and I'm going to paste, and then I'll copy, and then I'll paste. Now that we're done with our cards, let's tidy everything up by creating our auto layout. I'm going to select all 4 of these cards, Shift A, so that I can make an auto layout. So we have a grid auto layout. I just want this for the top and bottom. I want it to be 24. So the gap between the items on the left and right to be 24, and the gap between the items on the top and bottom is also going to be 24. I'm going to zoom out. Now I'm going to select all of this. Select these 2, make the spacing 20, and this is a very this is a much easier way to create frames without really thinking much about figuring out spacing or that kind of things. Just create a rectangle first, and the rectangle, when you create your frame, the frame will inherit the properties from the rectangle, and then to create a frame with your rectangle. So I'm going to select this one. I just align it to the middle as well as the center. Now, as you've selected on these 2 items, the 2 frames, also select the rectangle, Shift A, and now you have your frame. So you don't need to think about what's the bottom padding, what's the top padding, what's the bottom padding, what's the padding on the left, right, all of those things. Just create it, as it is, and then you can use it to create your auto layout. But anyway, that's very quick. That's a very quick one. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like in the prototype view. So I'm just going to select the frame, run the prototype, and give it a moment to load, and we should have our design in a moment. Yep. So I'm just going to make this full screen, and there you go. This is our why choose us card. So when you are creating a website and you want to say, oh yeah, you want to create a cards design, this isn't specific to why choose us. You can also use it for services, you can also use it for categories or things like that. But anyway, that is it. If you enjoyed the video, you can either click on the video on screen right now to watch similar content to this, or you could check out the description box below for the links to courses and videos with much longer projects. So I've created much more detailed projects on my channel. You can go ahead and check those out if that's something you're interested in. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.